sizes of the paragraphs. You can see in the dataset preprocessing part. So the paragraphs are actually, they have used very short essays from the from sentence 1 to very long essays. So the GenSim library that we have used in the NLP task, it has managed it, and we have allowed the maximum padding length to 4,200 with the longest sequence.
Is it possible to work with multiple languages with same algorithm, like English, Hindi, Chinese,
No,
Italian,
sir.
Russian?
No, sir. This is actually for now. We have done it with English. We have the plan. Yes, we have the plan to do it with Bengali and Hindi.
Like which software platform you are using, or which coding language you are using for managing all those things?
We have used Python, and for the classification part, we have used Python's sklearn tool, scikit-learn tool actually, scikit-learn, scientific learning.
Okay, fine. Good presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, madam.
Thank you. Our next presenter is Do Hui He. Sorry if I spelled it wrong. Its paper is on factors affecting the local governance. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I hear. I hear that.
Yes. Yes, sir. You can begin with the presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah, please start.
Yeah. Thank you. Can you hear that?
Yes. It's audible and visible as well. You can start.
Yes, my name is Do Hui. I come from Vietnam. I am working in Vietnam National University, and now I'm working for UFI. Now I am introduced for factor affecting the local government. The research focus on an analysis of factor affecting the government, namely intelligent participation of citizens, social organization, reporting and accountability, and information system. The survey from 4 provinces in Vietnam, Hà Nội, Thanh Hóa, Quảng Nam, Hồ Chí Minh. The paper shows that the capacity of official and civil servants have related effect on the local government. Follow with reporting accountability, information system, participation of citizens and organization, and finally intelligence. Overview of factor affecting the local government. For 5 factors: intelligence and self of citizen. The factor 2. Factor 2 and participation level of the citizen and social organization. And third, responsibility for reporting and accountability. The 4, capacity of official and civil servant. And last factor, information system. There are 5 factors from study model affecting different local government. Can you see the study model? We have two methods for study. The first study, which is conducted in the preliminary investigation, and the investigation with the preliminary investigation, the auto quality research conducted in-depth personal interview and group interview with a number of experts and civil servant participation in the local government to verify the research, complete the suitable. After interview and analysis, we have some software for research. The first study from Excel. We have some sample at observation from Excel, input from Excel, and after input the data from Excel, we have a span software SPSS, eView, and other software. some software for investigation for my purpose for research in local and in local government. The result, the finding using SPS 33 software, the auto the result of the compact alpha and EFA. Regression analysis and hypothesis testing. After span SPS 33, the SEM theoretical model design of figure 1. Also in the figure 2, some indicator GFI and TLI and CFI and RMCEA indicator theoretical model suitable for market data. However, estimation design of the relationship between the concept, some factor have a significant at 90%. Can you see table 5? Based on B convolution table 4, it can be conducted that reporting and accountable has the strongest influence on the local government, followed by the participation of citizen and social organization, information system, capability of official and social organization. The least influence factor in the local government. The lighter regression model obtained in exponential. Some factor have more 0 and R square as exact 0.0722. Some independent have a significant study and figure 2 CFA design a factor after the local government which normalize unrealized standards. Conclusion and recommendation. Firstly, in order to improve the effectiveness of the local government, the capacity of officer and civil servant, growth management skill of leader, the growth the post-professional fighting skill and attitude of civil servant play an important role in the local government. Secondly, forming a bus of reporting and accountability adapting to each local need should be considered and discussed. There is no public investment. It is not necessary to set up reporting and accountable boss or citizen in fiction. Boss can fulfill the task of the reporting and accountability boss. Thirdly, information system must be considered appropriately. Besides, provide communication form such as mass media, poster, convention, slogan, contact, and election. Nor should be held. Election-related material may be sent to every person. Everyone can sit whenever they have free time to vote. Citizen must study. Fourthly, it should be focused on improved citizen intelligence of other participation role in activity of the government. In addition, it is extremely necessary to enhance citizen awareness of the importance of implementing and promoting democracy, because of understanding the meaning and role of democratic citizen with activity democratic right and fight for the protection and democratic right. When citizens take the integrated implement the law and democratic actively, UN promotes democratic right that have real control, overcome the state of formal democratic and interest. Thanks to the benefit of the state, right and benefits of citizen wouldn't see. Thank you for attention.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation.
Yeah.
Questions, sir?
Yeah.
Just wait for 5 minutes. Few minutes, please.
can you ask some question for my study for local women?
Yeah, 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Yes, sir. No questions, sir.
There is a question I want to ask you. Sir, as you applied chi-square test in your study, and you said DF value of DF is 2152, right? So at that moment, I want to know what is the size of proper total sample, and what is your observed value and expected value.
Yeah. Thank you for answer question. Because to study from SPS not spend indicator BS. Now some study more in future. We must be BS based for study. I see understand which P value is normal in Vietnam. I hope so. The next time we study from BS.
Sir,
I hope so. The next time
I want to know value of observed value and the value of expected value. OEV, observed value and expected value.
Can you see the picture for my study from for model study?
Please mention your slide where chi-square test data you show.
Okay.
I'm just simply asking about the observed value and expected value. Because you mentioned that DF value is 2152. So what is observed value? What is expected value?
Two ways. This is 2.5 my study from some software and some method. Now can you see the result of research from CFA? The first study from the batch alpha and EFA, and then after EFA from CFA. I think that the software now it's very good, and the next time we to change by method research.
Okay, sir. No
some indicator is not good.
No, sir. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Madam, please carry on next.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the presentation. Thank you for the questions, sir.
Thank you very much.
Our next presenter is Nagaveni Kadakol. I'm unmuting you. Yes. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you can begin with the presentation. Her paper is on identification of intra-abdominal organs using deep learning techniques.
Yes, ma'am. Is my screen is
Yes,
sharing?
it's visible and
okay.
you're audible as well. You can begin, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am Nagaveni Kadkod from Basaveshwar Engineering College, Bagalkot. First of all, I would like to thank our guide, Dr. S.M. Hatture sir, for giving me opportunity to present this research work into the ICT4SD Goa 2020. At the outset, I would like to thank Spinja for arranging the outstanding opportunity to present my work in this forum. My presentation topic is identification of intra-abdominal organs using deep learning techniques. In this, we'll have an introduction, objectives, proposed methodology, results and discussion, future scope, conclusion, and references. Nowadays, the technology. Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
you're audible. Yes, you're audible.
Yes,
continue.
Okay, sir. Nowadays, the technology-enabled healthcare systems are becoming more intelligent, efficient, and effective with the advancement in machine learning and deep learning techniques. The healthcare systems provide the program for well-being of the peoples in the society. In a healthcare system, we have a different categories like medical imaging, electronic health record, genomics, designing the treatment, online communication of the health, monitoring the health. The proposed system is based on the medical imaging. The medical imaging gives the internal pictorial representation of the interior body, organ, or the tissues for the early detection, diagnosis, and treating the diseases. In the medical imaging, we have a various techniques like a magnetic resonance imaging, computer tomography, X-rays, and the ultrasound imaging. For a proposed methodology, we go for the ultrasound images because it is a painless, it's not exposed to any ionizing radiation, safe, less expensive, and easily available. Nowadays, what happening, most of the peoples are facing problems related to the gastrointestinal and intra-abdominal organs due to unhealthy food diet and unhealthy practice of daily physical activities, and we use the pesticides and the chemical composed water for our agriculture. At the same time, interpreting the ultrasound images requires a well-trained radiologist, and we need a team. So there is a scarcity of a well-trained radiologist and the scanning centers at a village and the small town cities. Hence, we need an advisory system that helps in identifying the organ and any abnormalities related to that organ, which helps the clinician for early detection, diagnosis, and treating the diseases. Hence, the main objective here is that using this automated healthcare system, the people at village and small town cities can get a benefit of this healthcare system for early screening, because some of the people may show the laziness to go to the healthcare system for the treatment, or some people may not be having the because of the financial issues, they may not be available to move to the high caring centers. Hence, our proposed system is to develop an advisory system. In a proposed methodology, here it is a block diagram of a proposed system. Here we have ultrasound images. These ultrasound images are pre-processed by using the filters, and from after enhancing the image, we'll segment the organ from the ultrasound image. Then we'll use these segmented images for training the network. And once the organ is identified, the type of organ, whether it is a kidney, liver, pancreas, spleen, or the urinary bladder, from those, the shape and the texture features are extracted, and will decide whether the abnormalities are present or not. In the proposed system, we have collected the ultrasound images from the Kerudi Healthcare and the Cancer Hospital, Bagalkot. We have created a data set with the kidney, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, spleen, and the urinary bladder ultrasound images with the respective numbers mentioned in the parenthesis. These are the samples of the ultrasound images. And then ultrasound, as we know that the ultrasound image contains the speckle noise. This is removed by using non-local mean filter and the bilateral filter. The bilateral filter is a non-linear edge preserving and a noise reducing smoothing filter. After enhancing the ultrasound images, which is shown in this figure, and once the enhancement has been done on the ultrasound images, we need to segment the particular organ from the ultrasound image. This can be carried out by using the morphological operations like open top hat, bottom hat operations. Similar segmentation algorithm is applied on the other organs like a pancreas, urinary bladder, spleen, liver, and the gallbladder. Here it shows the segmented organ. Once the organs are segmented, these segmented organs are used for training the network in order to identify the network. In a proposed system, we use a Google Net, which is a pre-trained convolutional neural network, which has a 22 layers. It is already retrained on ImageNet, which has 1,000 object categories. But for our proposed system, we need 6 categories and on the intra-abdominal organs. So the network has to be retrained, and the network is retrained by using a transfer learning approach. Here is the steps for retraining the network. We need to load the pre-trained network. We need to replace the final layers, train the network, we'll predict and assess the network, and we'll have the results. Here the final layers, the loss 3 and the probe are the two layers of the Google Net which decides the output. These 2 layers has to be replaced. After replacing new WFC and the probe are the new final last 2 layers which gives the new class output. For me, the 6 classes. And after retraining, I run the network, and then after the network has been trained and given the input as an ultrasound image, and once the organ is identified, from that organ the image and the texture features are extracted for identifying the abnormalities. In our method, based on the data availability, for identifying the stones in the kidney, the MSCR, SURF and the cage features are used. And for identifying the fatty liver, the statistical features such as a central movement, dispersion, variance, standard deviation and the contrast are considered. For the stones in the gallbladder, the shapes and circularity and the solidity is used. This is a experimental results. For training the network, we use these many number of the kidney, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, spleen and the urinary bladders, and we achieve the accuracy of 98.30, and it is tested on a kidney of 876 images, and the number of images currently identified 872, and the accuracy is 99.54. These are this table shows the testing. And then we also
Sorry for the
given the
interruption, Nagaveni. You just have 1 minute
hello.
left, okay, to conclude with the presentation. 2 minutes left, please.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Actually, here it is running, so there is a disturbance in signals, ma'am.
Yeah, but just
Thank
1-2 minutes, yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you. Abnormalities in the organ, we identified we have given the kidney ultrasound image, segmented, and then identified it as a abnormal. And for the gallbladder and the fatty liver also, it has been done. Next, our system is a clinically advisory system that helps the clinician for the early detection and diagnosis of the disease. And the deep learning techniques are used for identifying the organ like kidney, liver, gallbladder. And here in the proposed methodology, we have some challenges like less availability of data is also a challenging task in automated identification of intra-abdominal organs and identifying the abnormalities. In future, the challenges like poor signal to noise ratio and spectral noise can be minimized using soft computing techniques. And if we get a more data on a different on the organs of the different diseases, it can be still improved. These are the references. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for the presentation.
Okay,
Yes,
ma'am.
sir.
Thank you.
Just wait for a minute.
Okay, ma'am.
Our session chair might ask questions. So just wait for a minute, okay?
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
So your presentation is so nice and you so nicely designed your paper observation, calculations, and each and everything
Hello.
is very. Hello. Hello. May I
Hello, sir.
audible?
Pardon me, sir. Now I am audible, sir. Yes, a little bit raining, sir. So connection is terminating, unstable.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir.
Congratulations to you. You nicely present the paper, and
Yeah,
the
sir. Thank you, sir.
subject and theme of paper is very good and suitable in present context. And at the last point, I want to ask a question. There is a sound noise ratio, and you're reducing the sound noise ratio by the help of soft computing. So I want to know which kind of technique or which kind of methodology you want to apply in future for reducing
So
sound
using
noise.
yeah, sir. Using nowadays research is going on this by using machine learning and the deep learning, sir.
So any method you have right now to reduce which you can apply in future, or are you working for?
Hello.
Madam, are you having any method for
Hello, sir.
SNR? Yes, yes. I
Hello.
think there is a signal problem, madam. We will continue further. You can continue
Okay.
for next paper. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for the
Hello.
presentation. Our next presenter is Andy. His paper is on Hidden in Plain Sight, Building a Global Sustainable Development Data Catalog. I'm unmuting you. Yes, you can start sharing your screen.
Thank you. So let me share my screen.
Sharing screen at your at the bottom ribbon.
Yep.
Bottom side ribbon, sharing screen is there.
Yes, sir. Is there any problem?
There's just a system request to allow Zoom to share my screen, but just
You
checking.
have the right to share the screen as well. You can, sir. Or else we'll move on to the next presentation and you can come back then.
Yeah, something.
That's better? Okay. So we'll move on to the next presentation. Do we have the presenter of Sensing Searching Techniques in Internet of Things, a survey, taxonomy and challenges?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'm sharing my screen. I'm very sorry that I have some internet connection
No
problem. I'm
problem,
really
no
sorry.
problem.
for that
You
one.
can begin now. Yeah.
I'm presenting just after sharing the screen. Can you see my screen here?
But your voice is not audible. It's breaking in between.
Can you see my screen, ma'am?
Yes, yes, it's
Okay,
it's visible. You can begin, please.
okay. Can you hear me also?
Yes, ma'am. You need to begin the presentation. We are running out of time, actually.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Farzana Hoshin Chaudhuri. I'm presenting my paper, Sensor Searching Techniques in Internet of Things, IoT. I would like to thank everyone for providing us the opportunity to share our thoughts in this platform. And I have my co-authors with me also, Farhin Rahman, Rabsan Jamil, and Nafis Mansoor. As time is short, I'm just going ahead to my presentation. First of all, I would like to focus on the contents. It's background, existing techniques, performance metrics, literature analysis, open research areas, and the conclusion. Okay, moving on to the background. First of all, I want to introduce the term IoT. What is actually IoT? It means that the things can be referred or furniture. For the term
Sorry for the interruption, ma'am. Your voice is not audible at all. It's breaking in.
Then it's objects. Things in the IoT chip, transponder, or a device. Sensors connected through IoT is actually, the environmental changes and
Andy, are you ready with the presentation?
Unmute. Andy, please unmute your.
Hello, Andy? Unmute yourself, please. Yeah, are you ready?
ma'am, I'm ready. Sorry, I got disconnected. Can I continue, ma'am?
Yes, please. You can continue from where you have stopped.
Okay.
Just focus on the main topics, yeah?
Okay, sorry, ma'am. I'm sharing my screen. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I stopped at the things in the IoT. Then the mode of representation of the data produced by IoT can be in thematic, spatial, and temporal. Observation and maintenance of the sensor data are of high importance, and process data analytics is important for decision making. Then I can focus on some features like efficient data communication requires logical clustering, and my paper is all about appropriate sensor searching because it's vital for data processing. And post COVID-19 world is expected to be more sensor centric to ensure lesser human interactions. Traditional sensor searching algorithms are not sufficient for modern IoT-based applications. That's our findings, and we are moving to moving to some new research areas that can overcome the limitations. Okay, just a brief about the existing techniques. Here I can show you Casaram. It's actually a context-aware sensor searching, selecting, and ranking model. The technique is based on user priority, and SSNO, that is semantic sensor network ontology. It's actually the modeling technique of the context properties. And next come the fuzzy sets. Here user specifies time series of sensor. Where the similarity score, more the measurement ranges overlap, and more the measurements belong to the fuzzy set defined by the output of the given sensor. Bayesian network serves as a perfect prediction for the desert sensors. It is essential for forming a perfect prediction, and it extracts the shape, size of sensor data and actual complete data. Then I can go to distributed regression. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, I am hearing you. Continue, please. Hello. Hello.
Okay, okay.
We continue.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hello. Okay, okay.
We
Thank you,
we
sir. Hello. Can you
continue.
hear me?
Continue. Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm listening you. We continue.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, madam. I'm hearing
Okay,
you.
okay.
Please
Thank you. Thank you.
continue.
I stopped at distributed regression. Okay. I stopped at okay, okay. It is distributed regression. Okay, okay. There is a bit connection problem. Distributed regression. It is based on distributed application of Gaussian elimination. It extracts the shape, size of sensor data and actual complete sensor data. Shodan. It is actually powerful IP search engine. Where the script API of Shodan is used to set up IP exposure notification system, and exposed IoT devices are objectified through the devices are exposed nearby our area. Then I'm continuing with performance metrics. Here we define some parameters for
Sir, I think she has some connectivity problem.
I also think there's some little bit of
Yeah.
damping connection. Damping.
It's okay. You can do it vocally instead of sharing your screen.
Yeah.
Okay. No. The
You can do
connection is
that.
back. I guess. Okay.
But if you can do it vocally as well if you want to.
Okay. No issues, ma'am. It is stable now. Hello.
Yeah. Continue.
Okay.
Continue.
Yeah. Realistic users criterion, then realistic application, provision for sensing as a service. Then comes scalability and robustness. Machine learning is important because it improves efficiency and reduce cost by pursuing those data. Access to new location, and then comes threat detection and prevention. These are all the parameters on the basis of which we have analyzed the existing searching techniques. Then comes performance analysis. Sir, here we have presented a brief view of the analysis. The parameters are defined here. Like Casaram, it supports users criterion. That's why it's marked as green, right? And if it doesn't support enhanced scalability, that's why it is a red cross mark. It's just a view. You can get a summarized analysis of the performance of the user techniques. Now I'm moving to the open research area. What the open research area actually define what will be the steps for overcoming the limitations in the existing technique. Improving scalability through implementation of GSN, then reducing high maintenance cost through CSAS approach, then machine learning for energy saving in WSN, advancement in threat detection and prevention, and introducing body area network for physiological signals. Just a brief description that improving scalability through GSN. Global sensor network is actually a generic platform for deploying sensor network. It can process the produced data in a distributed fashion. CSAS approach, that means cloud-based sensing as a service approach. It reduces the high maintenance cost because we know that sensor network infrastructure involves huge investment and high maintenance cost. So it uses layers of virtualization for managing sensors, and we can access the real-time and historical data for analysis. Okay. Then comes machine learning for energy saving in WSN. Machine learning is actually referring to artificial intelligence. It enhances the procedure of selecting appropriate cluster head. What we can say that WSN consumes a major percentage of energy. For higher required accuracy or higher computation requirements, the energy consumption is high. For large energy constrained networks, transmitting all data directly to the sink is inefficient process. So we can pass the data to a local aggregator that can be termed as cluster head. Cluster head actually performs the function of collecting data within its cluster and then transmitting to the sink. And machine learning is important for choosing appropriate cluster head. So
sorry for the interruption, ma'am. You're running out of time. You have taken already 10 minutes. You
okay,
need to conclude now.
Okay, ma'am. I'm just moving to the conclusion. Advancement in threat detection, it is important. Then body area network, that is producing for physiological signals, that can be an open research area. Conclusion, I have summarized the concept. Our paper actually presents the whole concept of the existing techniques, and we can see that cluster sensor network raise the challenge of searching and selecting sensors properly. Search algorithm should have some features like capturing data and combining together with numeric and semantic reasoning, and it should be efficient so that we don't need to access all the sensors for collecting data. And future research can be summarized as the searching results can be categorized on the basis of priorities, and it can broaden the research area by focusing on the priority issue. Thank you for question and answer.
Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Madam, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Tell me one thing, is there any another method than IP search engine, and we can use any another technique to sense the sensors near about our I2DIs?
Yeah, sir, we have actually collected the prominent searching techniques, okay, the widely used methods like Casaram or fuzzy set based or Bayesian network. So these methods are actually widely used, so we focused on them.
My question is, we are searching network by the help of IP addresses, okay? Is there any other methodology or other techniques by which we can search the network?
According to my paper, I have presented only this. So actually not, sir.
Actually,
Yes,
no.
sir.
Right. Okay, fine. Ma'am. Madam, you may continue for next paper.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Andy. Now you can hear me? Yeah, please unmute yourself.
Yep.
You can
Can
begin
you
with
hear
the
me?
presentation. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let me try to share my screen. Um, I still have an issue. Can I try? I join with Windows. Can I try with the other one? I think
And
Mac.
then go to your bottom side, go to bottom side of your screen, and you will find a.
I have made you
No, but
co-host, so like you can do it directly. There won't be problem now.
yeah, but it's not it's a Mac problem because it's a private Mac owned by my organization. So I join with my window. Can I? Can you unmute me on the other one? I will try to. Yeah, I think here.
Or else you can.
It
Oh,
works.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay, it works.
Yes, yes,
Okay, so I
yes.
can do
Yeah.
that way.
It's visible and you're audible as well. You
Yeah,
can begin.
cool. It starts. Okay, so thank you. So today I'm going to present you a work that I co-developed with Jem Hudson and the AI for Good Foundation, aiming to build a global sustainable development data catalog, which is an open, extensible database of open access papers, metadata, and research networks that aim at help to accelerate in the development of the Sustainable Development Goal. So our work is included in the context of the 17 SDGs. So the global goals has been defined by the United Nations in 2015, and there are 17 interconnected targets that aim at defining the overall context for social, environmental, and economic section of development. And while they're not an actionable guide, they want to inspire policies for government and stakeholders through 2030. So they were defined in 2015 and building up on the Millennium Development Goals, which were also defined in order to like define a sharing policy to like tackle extreme poverty. So a big challenge that scientists, researchers, and innovators are facing today is that there is a growing and increasing numbers of papers that are published on a daily basis. Like for A minor and Microsoft Academic Graph alone, there is 380 million papers, and it's only a growing database. There is more and more information that's added to this. And this has been even more highlighted during the COVID-19 pandemic, as a huge part of the scientific community has been gathered to try to make more research on COVID, and thousands and tens of thousands of papers have been published. Added to that, there are scientific pressures that encourage researchers to keep dataset private as a competitive advantage. So there are several reasons for that. First, some data sets have really high scientific values. And so scientists may prefer to keep them private because they won't give credit as they are, but only when there are some analytics behind it. So they want to leverage analytical power behind it before to make them public. Another reason is because some data are privately held, and the commercial entities that own them want to keep them also as a competitive advantage. So as a result, it's both and time consuming to identify useful data source. And so it's challenging to get the state-of-the-art work when you want to build your research on your peers. So in order to tackle this challenge, we want to build the SDG catalog system, which is so this open access database of data set that are relevant to the Sustainable Development Goals. So you can see here on the right of the slide, the system design of our process to generate this data catalog system. So it can be summarized in 5 main phases. First one is to create this database of useful publication, which is done using and leveraging the Open Academic Graph, and more especially the A minor source of information. So using scraping engine, we were able to extract 5 million academic papers that we then used in order to leverage NLP and text mining and create a parsing and information extraction pipeline. And out of this, we were able to extract some chunk of text that are usable for analysis. And so we use an active learning strategy in order to create a training set. So growing and growing this training set and building a classification and a name entity recognition model that will first identify the dataset names and then the relevant metadata that will be able to explain what has been done on this dataset and where are those datasets from. So at the end, we would like to then gather all those steps and create a front-end user interface and build a SDG data catalog that would be usable by stakeholders. So to dive a little bit more on the methodology, we first started with the PDF extraction and preprocessing. So it's all starts with a Google search where we're using the information from A minor. So first the title of the paper and then the last name of the author. We filter only PDF results and extracting the top five results. We first try one by one each result to download it. If it's a usable and parsable PDF, then we add it to our database. If it's not, we look at the following results till the end of the list. So out of this process, we have a 55% success rate. So which means that with 8 million requests that we made, we were able to download more than 5 million papers. And so the following step were to actually extract the test, breaking down by paragraph, and get the chunk of text. So for the text extraction, we have 83% success rate, and for the dataset identification, 62%. So to be more specific about the two last steps, so the dataset identification is first done using a keyword extraction and linguistic pattern identification. So we are able to extract set of candidate paragraph in order to perform our analysis on it. So in order to do it, we first start to manually annotate 500 of those paragraphs, build our text classification model on it, and then using an active learning loop, we grow this training set. The active learning is actually extracting the instance in the data where the model is the most uncertain. So we re-annotate those instances manually, add it to the training set, and we train the model so the accuracy grow, and we have something that is acceptable for what we want to do. So then once we have those paragraphs that are including a data set, we are running our metadata extraction. So this is a name entity recognition model that we build using the Spacey library. So we want to identify 5 different entities. The first and most important is the name of the dataset, then the description, the samples, the owner of the dataset, and the attributes. So we use a similar techniques to do it. So we first start with manual annotation of the different entities. With this manual annotation, we first train our name entity recognition, and with an active learning strategy, we re-annotated the instance that were most uncertain and try to grow and get better accuracy. So here I summarize the results on those tasks. So for the dataset chunked and the dataset identification, we made this experiment with 10,000 documents. And with the identification of more than 5,000 dataset, we got a recall of more than 93%, which is really good. And the metrics we are interested in is recall, because we really want to identify all the dataset, or actually as much dataset as we want. And if there is all false positive, it's not so important. For the name entity recognition model, results are not that good. There is like a high variability. So for name, description, and owner, the results are pretty acceptable with recall that range between 56% and 72%. For sample and attributes, the model is struggling a little bit more, and we need to do more work to actually be able to identify them. So for now, it's not ready to use. So this is where we're at, and concerning our next step in building this SDG data catalog, I summarize it here in 4 main points. So the first one is to improve our current pipeline, so increasing and growing our database, so downloading more papers, and also increasing our information extraction pipeline to make it more accurate and get better accuracy on our model. Then the goal of our product is to create a Wikipedia-like search engine to access SDG-related data sources. Once it will be created, we want to gather feedbacks from the community and the stakeholders that are doing research on the SDGs. So we are able to improve the system, and at the end, have something that could be widely used by governments and private stakeholders in order to accelerate our development through the SDG and maybe meet the SDG if development is good enough. So that was from a presentation. I hope there is still some space for question. Thank you very much for
Yes,
listening.
there is a question.
Yep.
Sir, as you discuss about catalogs designing,
Yep.
may I audible to you, sir? Andy, sir?
Uh, can you repeat then? Is it, are you able to use it? Is it the question?
Yes, yes, I am able.
Yeah.
I just my question is, what is the suitable primary key for your catalog creating? That is indexing and searching. That is phone number, email ID, or name of the people, or name of the institution of the.
Like through the catalog, if you are looking, for instance, you can do a research on a given topic. It could be a topic related to the
No,
SDG.
it is a very preliminary question. If you design a
Yeah.
catalog, definitely there is a multiple fields, multiple attributes in the database, in the table. So I want to know which field you used as a primary key or a key for indexing and searching. That is email ID, name of the candidate, or the name of the institution, or any other field, or your combination of that.
Yeah, no, we are using the email of the owner of the database. And when it's not, we are using the institution. So that's the way we are tracking the data set. Yeah. But so we have different database. So there, I mean, I could have multiple answers because
I want to
I do
know
have ID.
in general, which field, which attribute you are using for
The
searching and
email.
indexing.
Yeah, the email for the searching value.
Email ID.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, fine. Yes. Deepika madam, yes, continue.
Any other question?
Madam, question time is over. I asked the question, you may
Done,
go
done,
further.
done.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Nice.
the presentation, Andy. It's too good.
Yep. Thank you.
Amish sir, good morning.
Mr. Will joins.
Good morning, Sanjay sir. I'll just go in 2 minutes.
Yes. I see the message that Amit Joshi is entering in the waiting room. So I said, good morning, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now I would like to thank all the participants for presenting their papers, and congratulations to everyone. And specifically, I like to thank Dr. Sanjay Gaur for chairing this session. Due to this pandemic, we are not physical, so we are just displaying this certificate for you, and we will email you this certificate. So already for just few things for the presenters, we already have sent all the papers to Springer. It is in process. So I hope it will take around 4 to 5 months of time to complete process, and it will come online. And I hope to see you all again in physical mode of this conference in the future. Might be the next year, 2021 at Goa. So have a safe, and thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. This meeting will be open for next few minutes. If you want to exchange email IDs, or if you have any questions, you can write into the chat box. So then I will close the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sanjay sir. Actually, my net is not working. That's why I'm not able to show the video. So
Okay.
I think maybe the voice would also be breaking right now.
Yes, right.
So
I'm
thank you
testing
very
it.
much, and thank you very much all the participants from across the globe, because we have approximately 25% people outside from India, and we thank you all the authors for trusting us. I can see there are few presenters who are from outside India in this session as well. We really appreciate your gesture and your trust shown to us. 5 years now. We also hope to see you in physical modes in ICT4SD 2021. I think all authors will be receiving their certificates, payment receipts, as well as their thank you letter just after the session is over. And if there are any queries, any concerns at a later stage, please feel free to write to me. Please feel free to write to the team, and we will be happy to assist you in the best way possible. Once again, I would like to thank Dr. Sanjay Gaur, although we are not able to talk these days, but on a formal note, thank you very much for sparing your valuable time, because for GS also it is very difficult to stick to a screen for a longer number of time, like say 90 minutes continuously listening to the presentations, commenting on the authors' comments and all those. So thank you very much for this. And as Mr. told, we are just closing the session, so you have 1 more minute if you have any. And thank you very much, and look forward to you next year in 2021.